So what is up, guys? This is Lil Homie and Ergo to my right or left. I don't even know how to say it. So this is my left. But anyways, this is the Homies Podcast, episode one. This is the first time we've done a podcast, and this is and it talks for 3, 4, 5 years, and yeah, this is our first time doing this. So I just introduced myself. This is Lil Homie. Introduce yourself, Eric.
Yeah, hey, thanks for having me, man. It's
Hey,
Ergo.
hey, hey! What do you mean? Thanks
It's a
for
good
having me.
time, man.
Hey, what do you mean? Thanks for having
It's
me.
good,
We're
good
both
time,
hosts.
man.
We're both
Hey,
hosts.
you know what, man? You know what? Really, I'm just happy that we're getting this started. So, like I was saying, dude, earlier, like 5 years, 4 years in the years in the
Yeah,
making.
basically,
We
yeah.
just never got around to
Yeah, we
it. We're
never did.
finally doing it.
Yeah,
And you
exactly.
know what's interesting about all of this is that we had to have a life-threatening pandemic
I know that is true.
to threaten us to start a podcast so that we can
Yeah,
just talk freely. Isn't that
exactly,
crazy? That
exactly.
blows my fucking mind, man.
That's super funny. That's really funny.
Yeah.
Hey, talking about the pandemic, and yeah, man. So how was quarantine? You, you know, it's funny. It's a funny question because
So
it's a funny question because we always hang out like every like week.
yeah, yeah,
That's just
yeah.
super funny. But
Hey, but
anyways,
you know what though? We're still. I mean, I'm sure you are too, but like I'm still kind of social distancing though as well.
yeah. That I mean,
Like I only see people. I only see people like weekend
yeah,
and
yeah,
nights, but it's not like an every single day occurrence. You know what I
yeah. That
mean?
is true. I mean, for me, it's kind of different because I usually work like almost every day, and like I'm just around people, I'm surrounded by people all the time, so it's not really that. You know, I'm always like around people. Nothing has really happened to me.
Yeah.
I don't feel sick, nothing like that. But yeah, let's get into melee,
Dude,
right?
the interesting thing too is it's like because Melee has been out
Yeah,
and just the whole entire Smash scene has been out.
yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens when the tournaments start to pick back up. Like who's going to be coming to these tourneys.
Yeah, that is
There's been
true.
a lot of shit talkers all
Oh yeah,
online.
there's a lot. There's a
They're
lot.
spewing a lot of stuff. Munir has
Oh,
a money match
oh yeah.
proposal for Anthony,
That's
and I
true.
told him I was like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna keep this real. I want to commentate that. I guess I'll give you the real homie
Ooh.
commentary.
Hey,
And
that'd be
Munir
so
gave me
fire.
the straight up. He was like, dude, he's like, I got you. You're gonna be commentating. You got dibs
Ooh,
on it.
okay. Wait, so where's it gonna be held at though?
That's the question. They're not sure yet.
Ooh. Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna be online, right? Because I would not like to see a laggy money match, especially $100 money match, right? I would not like to see that.
Yeah. See, that's so interesting because you'd think they'd do it in real life if it's going to be that
Exactly.
much money, and it's like, well, do you really want to put the stakes on like connection and
Exactly.
lag?
Yeah, I would not like to do
It's
that.
like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
That's
I wouldn't either, man. It's like, hey, it's all fun to talk about. It's all fun to be like
speculate.
playing it up, and he had the big old badass call out on Facebook too, so he's like being that guy. But it's
Exactly.
like, hey, man, you don't want to be the guy that loses the money to like some random like network connection,
Exactly. Yeah.
and then you got a kid like Anthony just like laughing in your face. It's like, how are you gonna take that when you're
I swear, yeah, yeah. It's like a 16-year-old just beating like a 23-year-old and losing $100. Come on, man. I
yeah. Hey, do you know how old he is?
think he's like 16, 16, 17. That's super funny though. Hey, speaking of melee. Hey, speaking of melee, who is your favorite player to play against and like why?
Ooh, favorite player to play against.
Yeah.
Dude, you know what? Um I think for a long time, like one of my favorite. I don't know, like I can't distinguish like my most favorite, but like one of my favorite people to play has always been Slayer.
Oh yeah, yeah, Slayer, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and it's not because he like adapts, but it's because he like he constantly pulls stuff out that is like he stays true to himself as a smasher and how he plays.
That's true. Yeah, yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah. Like wait,
So it's like
can you like explain like how does he stay true to how does he stay true to himself? Explain
he
more.
doesn't try to change his play style.
Okay, yeah, yeah, that's true.
It's one of his best things that he has going for him, but unfortunately, it's also one thing that like can leave him in the dust with how the meta's changing
Yeah.
and how everything's becoming a little bit more defensive, a little
Yeah,
bit
yeah,
more
yeah.
optimal. Like Logan's the type of guy to be like, I'm still gonna like
Do my
falcon kick
thing.
in your face,
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
still gonna be the type of guy to like wave dash out a shield on a platform and knee you right in the gut because I don't need a shield drop.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. I think like Slayer
How about
like
you?
yeah, I mean, okay. So talking about favorite players to play against is always like nowadays I think it's Charlie, like Epson Page. He's like I think it's so fun to play against him because like one touch you're basically dead, and it's a Fox player. So like
Yeah.
I love comboing spaces all the time. And aside from Charlie, I played 100 grand last time and I played and it was so fun, dude. Like just his movement and
Oh,
everything.
Hondo also is very fun to play with.
Exactly, yeah. Like he just knows how to like, get around your lasers, which is like something that I love. Like, cause it makes me think. It forces me to think how can I beat this like how can I beat this approach? Like he's approaching like in like these different ways that like are so kind of like they're like unique. They're just so unique, in my opinion. The way he like moves around the stage, ledge cancels, and everything like that, just kind of confuses you, and just like makes you think. Like, what is he gonna do next?
Would you say that's the root of the entertainment for you?
Yeah,
Because you have to think and you're like, oh, like he's putting me on the spot, so it's like I gotta, what I mean? I gotta shift around. I gotta be a little bit smarter about my game plan, a little bit smarter about how I move around the platforms, how I
exactly,
approach him.
exactly.
Okay,
But with Charlie, it's like
okay.
Charlie. I don't know. I just feel like he's like more predictable now than ever. It's probably because he doesn't play a lot anymore, but he's like super predictable now. He's like really predictable for me. He just like
That's actually what I've been feeling too. Sorry
yeah.
to cut you off, but I've actually been feeling that because it's like I think one thing that has been really hurting Charlie is because there's this pandemic going on,
Probably that.
and he doesn't really have net play. I set net play up for him like
Mhm.
2 weeks ago, but I don't really know if he's been playing on it much. But
Yeah.
like whenever I play with him at Dolph's place, which is like what we probably
Yeah, we
play
play a
there like
lot.
once or twice a week,
Yeah, once or
you
twice a
know.
week. Yeah.
And I always feel like there's a specific style he plays, which unfortunately has been kind of limiting him.
Uh huh.
And so I don't feel like he's the like Charlie in his prime was probably late 2018,
Yeah. Yeah.
like extremely early 2019
Yeah.
Charlie,
Yeah.
where he won DreamHack. Like that's
Yes,
the
he beat
prime Charlie.
SGJ. He beat
Yeah,
SGJ. I think right at DreamHack.
yeah. He beat a lot of people, not just
It's
SJ.
crazy. He was putting in work so much work, man. It's crazy. And now it's like,
Dude, speaking of,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Keep
What was
going.
that?
No, I was just gonna say like, yeah, like I don't know if it's like the pandemic or like because he got banned or something like that, but like something is definitely holding him back. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I don't know. Like, cause he does the exact same approach. Like he changes his timings and like it's kind of easy to just figure out what he's gonna do. That's what I just feel. And there's also like other things where I don't know. Like, okay, so like one thing I figured out is just like shining and literally just following them. You know how some people like when you combo them off stage and you like you shine, they like DI away and like most Falcons just like fade out, right? Or fade towards the stage, right? So what I figured out is just like all I have to do is just fade in where he's going and just like do it the down as fast as I can, and just kill him. And he's like, "What?" Remember that? He's like, "What?" He's like, "What?" Yeah. He's just funny. He's just so funny. It's like what? He just laughing. Like sometimes he just like sits there and just laughs for no reason. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? What are you
And
doing,
you know
Charlie?
what's
What's so
hilarious?
funny?
The hilarious part is that like nobody actually knows how funny Charlie
Yeah,
is
no
until
one
you like
knows.
chill with him. Okay, so the thing is, he is he's like a straight comedian
He is.
when he gets super high.
Oh,
When he
okay.
gets chopped is like when he gets chopped out of his fucking head, this guy just like I swear this guy just goes into some other realm
Yeah.
while his physical body stays here.
Yeah.
And then you ask him a few questions, just to like see how he's feeling, what's up, what's good, because he's just super quiet. There's
Exactly.
nothing wrong with that, but it's also like you want to incorporate him in and be like, what's going on, Charlie, what's good, and he'll just say like the most random things, man. Like
Yeah.
out of the blue, he'll just be like, oh man, I'm the funniest person in the world. It's like, what is he
What? Like
talking
what? Like
about?
what? Yeah. What is he talking
But
about?
yeah. But the thing is, it's like when you ask him questions and you try to incorporate him in, and you try to get him to share what's going on,
Yeah.
he'll be reluctant. but if you keep
Yes.
fighting, he'll tell you, and he'll be like, I'm like having jokes with in my head by
Yeah.
myself,
Wait.
like talking to myself, talking to like my own like belief system, which is there's nothing wrong with that, but it's
Yeah.
just really funny in the way that it comes out because it comes out so organically. Like there's no malice. There's no like bad thing going on with it. He's genuinely just like chin chilling.
He
He,
is.
he straight up is a chin chiller, dude.
Dude, remember one time? Okay, like, so he just got like Stealth's place, and we're just playing, and all of a sudden he just started laughing for no reason. I'm like, bro, what's so funny? What's so
He
funny?
was laughing for like 5 minutes straight, man.
He's like, I'm like, what? And we just asked him, dude, like, what's so funny? He's like, oh, I'm talking to God. He's like, I'm talking to God.
Yo,
I'm like,
he's
what?
I feel real bad because
Same.
so like maybe 3 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Like he didn't like smoke cigarettes at all,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then he started like we Charlie and I have always hung out, even like when
Yeah.
he started playing Smash. Like we always just hung out, and I don't think a lot of people knew too that like Charlie lived like 3 or 4 minutes away from me.
Yeah.
And so at the very beginning of his career, of his Smash career, like when he was first coming around, he and I played all the time together.
Okay.
Like I would just go to his place after work and play from like 8 or 7 p.m. all the way till like midnight or 1 p.m. And we
Damn.
would do that for like 3 to 4 nights straight for like several months. And no, I don't think I ever told anyone, or I don't think he ever told anyone either. But so I got to know him really well
Mhm.
because it's like when I play Smash with people, I don't really like to just like play Smash with them.
Yeah.
I guess sometimes I do. Sometimes I like get too lost in the zone, but other times it's like, dude, I want to chill and I want to hang out
Yeah.
because
Exactly.
really the true benefit of the community is really hanging out with the friends and
Exactly.
the people that have similar interests to you. It's like
And
it's not just all about playing Smash. It's like there's that constant running joke throughout the community that we're all just trying to get better, pushing
yeah,
buttons,
yeah,
playing
yeah.
Smash. But it's like, dude, we're all chilling at the end of the day. It's a brotherhood.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
really the way it is. But going back to Charlie is like, and so I got to know him really well, and he never like he hated the smell of cigarettes. He like thought it was disgusting. Was never about it. He also like is the type to research a lot of stuff.
He
So
researched.
he was like, I remember one time he was like, oh yeah, man, like I shouldn't smoke squares because it's bad for you. And it's like, why would you do that? It kills your lungs. It makes your brains dumb, and you cannot breathe.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my best impression of him. But like now, dude, now he smokes more than I do, like cigarette wise,
Wow.
and he like chains like 2 to 3 cigarettes every single smoke break, every like hour.
Yeah. It's funny 'cause you always ask him like, hey, can you give me a spare? I'm like, what? Like, dude, stop, dude.
I don't know whether to feel like messed up about it or
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. It is funny. Dude, Charlie's just so funny in general.
Yeah, no, he really is, man. It's like, and okay, see, that's actually also something that like came in mind is like, I think a lot of people like don't give him a chance.
Yeah.
Like, don't give him a chance to like fully express who he is, and it's like you can't just ask Charlie like what's going on. You kind
Exactly.
of have to like
Be around him.
almost like yeah, you kind of also you kind of almost have to like coax it out of him
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
because it's like I just think Charlie's like one of those people that just doesn't like genuinely feel comfortable sharing a
Yeah.
lot
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
people
He's always
unless
quiet.
it's like
Yeah. He's always quiet.
yeah, yeah, but he's a good soul, man. He's a good kid.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
super funny. But on that note of being a good kid, he's also got a whole range of like
Oh
questionable
yeah. Yeah.
actions in him.
Yeah. 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 There's a lot of questionable
All right,
things in him.
so this is like I'm gonna need a sip of the cellars for this one. So this one is like this is a true Charlie story. One of the darkest times in all
The
of
darkest
Charlie's Smash
times.
career. All right,
All right.
we're getting the exclusive. We're getting the
The
exclusive right now. All right,
exclusive, the exclusive Charlie story.
the exclusive. So this is I gotta paint the picture though. So this is 2017, the summer of 2017. Roughly 3 years ago, July. This is Karma's last like official tourney that
Okay.
he went to when he was like playing or whatever,
Yeah.
and it was the very first tourney that I went to with Munir.
Okay.
And so this is when Munir was really new in the scene. So Munir, me, Charlie, and Karma, and we're all carpooling to a tournament called Run Don't Walk
Run, don't
in
walk.
Iowa,
Iowa.
summer of 2017. And at this tournament, there's PM and there's a melee as well.
Yeah.
And this tournament had folks from all over the Midwest. Chicago was there, Nebraska was there, Kansas was there, Iowa was there, obviously. Minnesota came in full force, mostly on the Smash Four or Ultimate side.
Yeah.
But there were South Dakota people there, North Dakota people there, and two biggest people that were attending there, besides Charlie's name, was Cat and Face Roll
Oh.
and Eifter.
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember that tournament.
And so this is what was it in winners? I believe Charlie loses to a fox. He lost to some fox. It might have been like Shinobi. I don't know if it was Shinobi. It was some fox. I forget. But Charlie seeded #1, mind you. So he's been upset, right? And
yeah, so
in losers quarters,
Okay.
he meets up with Eifter.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And Eifter is a peach main, and so and the thing is, Charlie has like he's not questionable against Peach, but he's definitely like had chinks in his armor in the past against Peach.
Okay.
Like Karma's beaten him in a set in Melee.
Oh yeah, I think I heard. Yeah, it was like
probably like a year before.
Yeah, yeah.
As well, I go. So the thing is, it's a losers quarters match, big match. Again, Charlie's seeded #1. After I believe is like seeded #3 or 4, way lower. So this is like a crazy upset. And Charlie's been getting like Charlie gets trunched on pretty good. I'm not even sure if it went to game 5, but it was near the end of game 4. Charlie like was losing so badly that he ended up switching to Marth, and like the entire crowd is roaring for this upset. Let's Eifter to win. And it's funny because the room is split into like 2 groups. So on one group, the group that's supporting Charlie is literally like me, like a couple other Minnesota people, which is like, and maybe like a couple of other out-of-staters. Like it's like maybe like 8 to 10 people at the most. Every single other person in the whole damn room supporting Eifter on the other side of the room. And it's like a combination of every single other state. It's like Iowa, South Dakota, Kansas, Nebraska, Illinois, Missouri.
Damn.
And they're all roaring for Charlie to lose. And Eifter pulls off like this badass combo to end the set. And so right after at the very end, it's like, you know, Charlie's been bullied by the audience the entire like set. And you know, all to it. It's like, you know, you gotta be strong enough to deal with that, you know? Yeah. But so so the thing is like after walks off, Charlie, you know, they pound their fists and everything. Charlie gets up slowly, rolls his controller real slowly, and he like right when he looks up, he's got a death glare in his eyes. And he walks over to the crowd that's been booing him the entire set. And he walks up to them. He puts his hand out like this, turns it sideways, pardon my language here, and he's like, you know what? I'm coming for you niggas. And he walks away.
Wow.
Every single person in that song, it's like we're all just like dead silent. Like all of us have our jaws to the ground. We're just like, did that happen? Like, holy crap! Like, dude, that's like I've never like that happen at a Smash tournament before, you know?
That is actually super crazy.
But that's like one of the darkest moments in all of Charlie's Smash career. And then what was it, like a year or 2 years later, like everything comes out about Charlie, about like how he just like does like, you know, all these drugs at tourneys, and like he doesn't care about other people. It's just like, holy crap.
That is like, I've never heard this story in my entire life. That's super funny. What the heck?
It was kind of gangster and like how aggressive he was with it, but like by
Yeah,
all means, I would not condone that
yeah, I
behavior.
would never
But
condone
you
that,
know,
especially at a tournament, man. I would never ever
like I've never
condone
seen
that.
that before.
Yeah. Like I've never seen Charlie say that except for like whatever what got him banned. But yeah.
Dude, but I'm saying Charlie is like a really funny person. And it's like I also challenge everyone to like try to get past his like silent satire. Like he's actually a really funny guy. He's just I don't know. I can't explain it. It's like once you know him, once you're on that homie level with him,
Yeah.
then he'll like actually like not be an asshole or like in the ways people think it is. Like, I'm not defending him either. You know, it's like
Yeah, yeah, no.
he has done a lot of fucked up shit. We all have.
Yeah, cause
But
like
it's just
cause every time we play, he's just having fun, right? He's not like all
yeah,
serious.
dude. He's just chill. He's just
He's just
chilling.
chilling, yeah. Like we just
Yeah,
like we talk about anything around him, and like he's like we ask him questions about like dating things like that. He answers, right? He answers all these questions, and it's just funny.
yeah,
Whatever
yeah.
he like, his answers are always funny.
Dude, he is if I remember correctly, I think he said he's ordered one prostitute before
Oh yeah,
to
yeah,
his
he's talking
place.
about
Like,
that. Yeah. Like what? I'm like Charlie, what the heck? I'm like Charlie, I'm not. Whoa, what was that? My bad with the audio.
sorry, yeah, sorry, what was that? I couldn't hear you.
Whoa, the audio is messing up. Yeah. Hold up.
Dude, but
Yeah, it is.
do you what would you say is like one of the more funny things that you've witnessed at a Smash tournament?
Okay, funny things that I've witnessed, like honestly, not a lot. Like I'm just like minding my own business mostly. I don't really, yeah, I don't really like see anything funny, honestly. I remember, okay, probably the funniest thing that has happened one time was like at the U of M like monthly. It was like a couple years ago, probably like 3, 4 years ago. Wisely just started screaming at everyone. He's like, hey, everybody, we don't smoke weed here, or something like that, and like it was just a funny
Oh, it
moment.
was that one?
Yeah.
Was that the one at the hole at the U of
Yeah,
M?
yeah, it was at the hole. I think it was like Breezy or like I don't even know. A couple people were just like were smoking. I forgot who it was. I think they were smoking
Damn,
outside,
calling out
right?
breezy like that?
No, I'm pretty sure they
Shit,
were like
man.
smoking outside like the venue, right? They were smoking weed outside the venue. I think that's what I heard.
Something like that.
That's so funny.
To be to be honest too, it's like it is pretty funny, but it's like kind of messed up, but at the same time it's like it's to be expected sometimes at like such a
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
true. Yeah,
I mean, it's like I think it's not bad like if you're like discreet about it, you know, and you're smart about it and you're not like a complete idiot doing it in front of like people where it's you're almost accepting and like promoting people to feel, you know, like why like you shouldn't give people that reason as to like why it's like, hey man, why are you smoking weed in front of everyone?
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
you should be a little bit smarter about it.
yeah. That's true. Yeah. Hey, so you know how we were talking about playing your favorite player, right? How about who is your
Yeah.
least favorite player to play against?
Oh man, they're too. Mm, you know, I've a lot of people that I enjoy playing. I also just like playing,
Yeah. Hmm.
and that's more that's like, super confusing. I know, complete oxymoron, but
Yeah.
it's more along the lines of like you know when people the people that adapt
Yeah.
usually are the people that will like just become the most entertaining for me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it's the people that like
Can you give some
don't
examples?
adapt
Can you give
that
like
just like
can you give some examples of that as to who adapts?
I mean the thing is everybody has spring. I know for a long time it's like I actually like someone that doesn't adapt really well is Brian, but like
Yeah.
I've always enjoyed playing Brian because the thing is it's like even though Brian doesn't adapt super hard and he's so ingrained in the way he plays,
Hmm.
it's it's fun because I know he's trying. It's like he's not sandbagging. You know what I mean? It's like he's not holding back anything. He's like legitimately trying, but at the same time, it's like I think he's too stuck in his own ways sometimes. And I don't think it's bad to play against, but I know it becomes bad for me because it makes me stagnant at times, and I
Yeah.
don't like being stagnant. It's like I think a lot of people, especially when they're like up and coming, and they feel like they're not as good,
Hmm.
and they're more like empathetic people where they don't want to make other people feel like they're boring them or like they're making
Yeah.
them worse. Like a good example is Jay. Like, have you ever met Jay? He
Uh,
worked at the Goat with me.
J. No, no, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, just to give you an example, like Jay always feels like he's like, hey man, he's like, are you like I always feel like he feels that I feel like that I'm not having fun playing with him.
Wait, wait, wait. Is
And
Jay the
I
Puff
mean,
player?
I mean, what was
The
that?
Puff player? Jay? Like long hair, I think.
No,
No.
long hair, but he doesn't play Puff. He's like a Falcon Falco Peach player.
Oh,
But
okay,
the thing
yeah.
is, it's like for me, it's like even though there's a skill gap, it's like I enjoy playing people that are willing to adapt. Like he's willing to adapt.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? And the thing is, he's not sandbagging. Neither am I. But like I'm gonna do what I can to get better. And a lot of times people will be like, Eric, why are you sandbagging? It's like I'm not sandbagging. It's just this is genuinely what this particular like situation. Like I'm not. People are like, oh yeah, you can just down throw knee here, or like you can just do that, this and that here, and it's like my mind just didn't go to it. Like I'm sorry if it, you know what I mean. I don't even want to apologize for that because it's like I remember I remember what's his face Zen.
Zen?
Zen. He's like yeah, big hugger right now, and I remember he was like commentating one on my match, and he's like, oh man, he's like, Eric, why are you sandbagging? Like
Oh,
he's just
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
respect like these players, and I'm like, I watched that and I was genuinely pissed off, and I was like,
Dang. Call
man,
outs? I
you
was
be
kidding.
like, I mean, like I'm not trying to sandbag, like I'm legitimately trying to do, like I'm doing what I'm feeling in the moment, and it's like
Yeah, yeah.
if you don't like know that, you shouldn't disrespect me by saying false things. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like that's disrespectful right there.
Yeah.
And on
Sometimes
top
people.
of it, it's like you're the sole commentator and you're spreading false lies so other people think about it. It's like,
Yeah,
think
yeah.
about the impact that you're doing right now. Think about the actual importance that you are. You have the privilege to commentate someone like my match. Like I'm not good or anything,
Yeah.
but it's just like you have the privilege of commentating everyone's match. It's like you might as well give an unbiased, like informational, like conversation or commentary towards it. There's
Yeah.
no need to like, but going back to the topic of Jay,
Hmm.
and just like I feel like because he always feels like I'm like not enjoying myself. I'm constantly enjoying myself, and I think to a lot of people that looks like
Yeah.
sandbagging. But it's like honestly, at the same time, it's like I don't think it's sandbagging because it's like I'm genuinely doing what I want to do in that moment. It's like I don't have everything planned out down to a T. Like I don't have the exact combo I want to do. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
if I do that, that is so boring for me, and my mind just doesn't work like that, anyways.
Hmm.
It's like I think you're kind of similar
Yeah, that's
in
the
that
thing.
way, where
I
it's
just like
like
freestyle.
it's like when I watch your Falco, if you can tell us a little bit about, if you can tell me a little bit about your Falco, it's like, where does your mind go when you start to combo people? And it's like you get one pins. What do you think about?
Okay, so for me, what I do when I combo, it's literally just me react, like just me reacting to where they're going, right? And then me like once like I react, I pick the option where I feel is best for that situation. So let's say if I if I just shine from like when they're like under the platform, right? And they're like they DI let's say like towards the top platform, right? Or like like okay, to give an example, this is Battlefield, right? We have one platform, the lower platforms. We have the top platform, right? If I shine them, from like the stage, right? So below the first platform, and they DI, let's say to the stage, right? The best option right there is either one down air, but then they can also DI toward the stage, right? And the next option is me to get another option is a guaranteed like a guaranteed hit where like they would fly off the stage. So in order to not um in order for the opponent to not get back to the stage, I do a jump like a full hop shine turnaround back air, right? To hit them out of like out of where the stage is located at. And because either way they're probably going to be DIing in towards the stage. So that's what I do. That's one thing that I do. But if it's a combo, I just react. I literally just react to what they're doing. Like if you saw one clip of mine, I saw like the clip where I did like a down air where Hundo was coming back to the stage. He techs, rolls to the ledge, and I just reacted. It's like a shine back here. That's all I did. I just
Oh,
reacted.
and that tech roll was an AMSA tech, so it was
Yeah, it
like
was opposite tech.
super fast.
Exactly. I just reacted to it.
Oh yeah, yeah. See, that's completely real, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, no
You
problem,
know,
man. Yeah. It's just me reaction,
and
basically. Just me
well,
reacting. That's mostly it.
would you say so? All these like so the thing is when you were describing that, I noticed like you were describing like, oh yeah, this is like the best option, or like this is the best move in this particular situation.
Yeah.
Is that from an accumulation of like
Experience.
yeah, experience that you've gained over the years, or
Yeah.
is it like people that you've heard it from, like you've seen top players do it?
No,
What is
no.
that?
It's just me basically. It's just me what I'm assuming like what they're gonna do, right? Because a lot of times if I play like let's say Lexo, right? He like knows how to DI towards like this stage and tech. And I'm like, you know what? I don't want to risk this. What I'd rather like do is do this option instead, where he's gonna fly off the stage guaranteed, and like then after that I can just cover like where he's gonna I'll just cover his recovery and just try to kill him. Cause I have a dare. I have lasers. I have every like move right there. So right there, that's all I have.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I think it's also interesting too because it's like I think a lot of people know this now, but consistently for over like I want to say 4 to 5 like years, you've been you've had the fastest shine bears for Falco out of Shield in the entire state, like consistently for 4 to 5
Yeah.
years. You're like the fastest Falco. Like, tell me about that, man. Like, lay it out on me. Like, why do you have access to this like godlike speed, but nobody in the state comes even close to
Hey,
that?
hey, hey! I'm pretty sure you already know this, but you always talk about my fingers. You say how my fingers are always the
Mm.
perfect. They're like the perfect length, the
Small
perfect
little nimble
size,
ones,
the
dude.
perfect size for the GameCube controller. And honestly, I think that is correct. I think that is correct. My
Yeah.
hands are made for the controller, dude. And also, just like, I don't know. Like, another thing is just me knowing when they're gonna come in. Like, remember that set against Vincenzo? I think that's how you say it. It was the Smash Splash 3. I made that comeback where like the Shine Bear and I just won because I just read it. He was desperate. I just read he was desperate for the kill. Like all he had to do was just do a dash attack, which is exactly what he did. Then after that, I just did a Shine Bear, the fastest Shine Bear. Even the commentator said that. Even the commentator
Wait, so
said
it sounds that's actually pretty big for like
yeah,
a regional team. But
yeah.
so it's like
Everyone was like,
from what
"Whoa!"
I
Yeah, everyone was like, "Whoa!" I was like, "Let's
from
go!"
from what you just described to me, it sounds like it's a combination of
Reaction.
like super anticipation
Yeah,
along with like the readiness to react.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
But the thing is, what's interesting is like I also feel like a lot of people play like that. I know specifically I play like that.
Hmm.
I know I can name off like a ton of people in Minnesota that play like that. But like I'm curious as to again like there's an X factor about your speed, particularly with Falco,
Really?
that like nobody has come close to in Minnesota at all.
Wait.
Like I think if even like the fastest players in Minnesota,
Yeah.
for example, like like your Anthony's, your Ben's, your Charlie's, your Slayers of all of Minnesota,
Yeah.
they play Falco. They're not even like they're like probably like their top speed or top like quickness with Falco is like 70 to 80% of what you have access to,
Really?
which is super interesting to me because it's like I just I've never seen it, and I think to bring up something that was interesting too, you were talking about like cancels in the air with Falco that make him faster,
Yeah. Yeah.
like a U-wear cancel. Like, can you?
Yeah.
What is that about?
Okay, so it's just something that I just kind of like discovered on my own. It's kind of like well known because Ginger has shown it off a couple times, but I discovered this on my own, right? And so I kind of I've shown I'm pretty sure shown Joey a couple times, but he probably doesn't use it. But it's something that I always use. So let's say I'm running off the platform and I want a fast fall, right? What I quickly
Yeah.
like cancel my up air and like just kind of I don't even know. I just call it a super fast fall. I just call it super fast fall. That's what I call it. And I think it is faster.
Super
The
fast
super
fall.
fast fall.
Oh
I just call it
shit.
like that, dude. The super fast fall. Yeah, dude. Yeah, but yeah, like it just helps me, dude. It just helps me get faster, become faster than like what normally like Falco's fast fall is. I just think it is faster.
And you do that every single time you jump.
every single time that I jump or like just fast fall. I always do that.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah. It's not really
Every
like
single time you jump.
it's not really like an impressive thing in my opinion. I don't think it's impressive. It's just like yeah, it's not really impressive to me. It's just pretty
But
basic.
I mean, okay. So on the other side of that same coin, can you imagine if you didn't do it every single time you jumped, and you didn't do it at all?
Yeah, yeah. I'd probably be a little
How deeply would that impact your game?
I'd probably be a little slower. Just a little slower. That's basically it. I don't think it would like really impact a lot. Maybe like a couple situations where like maybe if let's say a fox is trying to is approaching me from like the other side of the stage and wants to grab me, I could like use a super fast fall, quote unquote, and just like dash away. Whereas if I were to not use it, I would probably get caught with a grab. So maybe just a tiny like maybe like like a tiny like frame. You know what I mean? It can make a difference.
Well, the interesting thing is it's like competitive melee particularly has such a strong like
That's true.
bias in those like frame-esque situations. It's like I can think of the times where you beat Charlie,
Uh huh.
like the few times you beat Charlie, it's like you won on a like a split frame,
That's right.
happening.
Yeah.
So it's like if you didn't do that, those sets completely different.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think
I
you
agree
know
with
what I mean.
that.
It's like to me, it almost seems like it's defined not just your turning results, but you as a player.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, I mean, sometimes I feel like those sets were kind of like a fluke because it wasn't UCF. Like, because I feel UCF literally changed the game for me. Before UCF, like, I just struggled with movement and everything like that. My combo was just like with dash back, shield drops, just like so many things like that. Like played like UCF played so much impact that like I could do all these combos and all these things because like it's something that I always envisioned in my head, but I could never execute. And now with UCF, I could literally do that. And once UCF was like a thing was official, I started doing all the things that I always wanted to do. It gave me access to do everything that I wanted to do. So yeah,
Wow, wow, wow.
yeah. And I can't believe you still can't
Oh,
shield
that's actually
drop.
pretty crazy.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm
Hey,
like,
I
what?
can shield drop, but not like consistently. And it's man, I'm saying if I can shield drop the way like you could shield drop the way like Charlie could shield drop the way like Musa could shield drop,
Yeah, it would
it
change
would
it would change your
it
results.
would it would dress. I don't know if like it would change the result, but it would drastically change the way I play, just because it would allow for an extra notch in speed for me.
That is true.
Because it's like the way I think about shield dropping, a lot of people think of it as in a way of like like getting out of situations and like being able to move faster. I look at it as an extra tool to approach. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like for me, it's like I wouldn't just shy drop. It's like I would like wave land shy
yeah,
drop. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And like
yeah,
edge cancel wave land shy drop, or like edge cancel this, but then right when I go into the middle of the platform, I'll like shield drop, shy drop into like something else. It's like
yeah.
that's where my mind goes.
Mhm.
You know? So it's like that one mechanic can change drastically how I play.
Hmm. I see, I see.
And so yeah, definitely yeah, that's yeah, man. I mean, I wish I was on that grind. I wish I was on the same grind as all you guys that like are on it, but
Hey, that's not
no,
me.
I'm not, man, because I'm busy on the Tinder and the Bumble,
Hey, you know what?
and
Same.
the OK Cupid
Hey,
and the Hinge.
actually, that used to be me, but now more so, I'm just like, I'm out of that now. I'm a retired veteran. I'm a retired veteran.
You're retired veteran of the
Yeah,
dating apps.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm a retired veteran, man.
You can't be retired before you're 21. You're not even legally able to drink
I
yet.
know, I know. Hey, but for now, I am retired. All
For
right.
now.
Yeah, for now, for now.
Sounds like the first retirement of every smasher that's ever existed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. Hey, getting aside from the melee talk, I want to ask you. Hey, getting aside from the melee talk, right? I want to ask you a question, right? What is the sexiest name? You can just say guy or girl.
Sexiest.
This doesn't, because I don't have it in my mind either. Just like, what do you
That
think?
is such
What
an
do you
interesting
what do
question.
you think is the sexiest name? It could be male or
I can
female.
tell I can tell you some like sexy female names that I've always thought were like
Hot.
had like an extra like aura around them, where they were like a lot more, they were more of like a sexual feline
Okay.
type of deal, you
All
know.
right. All right.
And it's
What's one?
God, that sounded wrong, but um
Sexual feline? What is that?
like
A sexual
like
feline. That's funny.
I don't even know, man, but it's names like Aria.
Aria?
Aria sounds hot. I don't know why.
Aria?
It
What?
just does. Yeah, 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 yeah.
I've never
I don't
heard
know what
that
it
name.
is. Um, well, the thing is too is it's like because it's the way I feel, it's gonna be different from like a lot of other people,
Yeah.
and they're not gonna be like the usual names too, like the name Helena with an
Helena?
H.
Helena?
Yeah,
That's funny.
Helena. I
Helena.
like that.
Aria and Helena. What are these names?
Oh, like Mariana.
Mariana? That's alright.
Mm,
I guess it's alright.
Mariana with an M. Like
Mariama?
the consonants, they play some value in this.
Oh, oh yeah, oh yeah. You know what's funny, right? Cause you told me about how like with like Asians like you guys you guys are really good at
With
hearing, right?
Asians.
Right? Yeah, you guys cause you're able to like
Are you talking about like Southeast languages having like a tonal aspect to
yeah,
them?
yes, yes.
Yeah,
I
that's that
see.
actually that might be some sort of influence for me.
You know what? That is
Yeah.
yeah. It could be that.
Hey, but to be honest though, I didn't want to skip you though. I wanted to hear some of your like sexiest names
Okay.
in
Let
your
me.
opinion.
Mine's probably like a basic name. Probably like Emily. Yeah, yeah. It's just a
Come
basic
on,
name like
man.
Emily. Emily sounds just like I don't know, a sexy name.
Not to say that any Emily out there is a simp, but you're a simp.
Yeah. Wait, what? What do you say? I'm a simp? Hey, come on,
You're a
man.
simp, man. Looking for them BBs, the basic.
Let me see.
Yeah, but like
Emily's.
but actually, anyways, it's interesting that like when I said those names, your brain
Yeah,
thought of
interpreted
like
differently. I
the
just saw.
tonal
Yeah,
the tonal language.
cause what I see. Okay, for me, it's all visual. It's all visual. When you said like Aria, I'm like Aria. Who is
Mm.
Aria? Like I'm just like I'm visualizing someone named Aria, someone named Mariama. Someone, yeah, all these different names. I'm like, how do they look like?
You know what? I'm thinking about how it sounds
That's crazy.
and like
That's just
and like
crazy.
how it. I'm thinking about how it sounds and how it comes off the tongue.
Yeah.
Like the enunciation of it. Like the thing is, it's like I can almost pretend like some like American school teacher will be like, Mariana, is Mariana here? But it's like
Yeah.
that's so I don't know. It's like that's so like simplistic to me that I'd be like, man, if you really pictured like the sexiest way to say that name, the rather the potential of like sounding sexy, it's like Mariana. It's like that just sounds so crazy like hot to me. I
What?
don't know why.
I don't know. I just see like
Yeah.
I don't know. I just kind of see like a malnourished girl. I
Oh man,
don't know
nurse
why.
girl.
I don't know why. Malnourished.
What?
I don't know why, man. I don't know why. Oh, dude. Yeah, I have no idea why. Like, I think that.
Wait, besides Emily, you gotta give me something else. Like
Okay,
Emily?
maybe
Oh,
Stephanie.
Emily.
I don't know.
Stephanie?
I think Stephanie kind of
Hey.
sounds. I don't know. I think Stephanie kind of sounds pretty hottish in a way.
It's alright. It's alright, I think. Yeah, it's not
Okay,
bad.
when
It's
you say Mariama, it sounds like a Latina.
like Mariana.
Mariana. Yeah, 'cause I have a cousin named
Yeah.
Mariana.
I don't know why, but again, I think it's actually really interesting that like you pointed out that it's like
Visual for me.
because I'm Hmong, so it's like the Hmong language is a tonal language,
Yeah.
and so I think it's actually super interesting that you caught on to that, and you're like, there could be some sort of affiliation, something that resonates to like how I think about how it sounds. It's
Yeah.
interesting because it's like when I said those names, you were thinking about how people would look,
Yeah, exactly. Isn't
you
that
know?
weird? Like we all have, it's like our own definition of like how I don't even know
Yeah,
how to.
yeah.
It's weird. It's crazy. That's
You know,
crazy.
some of us are stuck on looks, and
Yeah.
others of us are, trying to find more than that.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think for me, just more so like the people that I've met that are named Emily and like maybe Stephanie.
Hmm.
I think that's what it
Oh,
is.
sure. So it's like they've like influenced how you think about like their names.
Yeah, I think it's that actually.
Actually, when you said Stephanie, it's like yeah, I could totally see that because it's like I remember like one of my crushes like back in school was named Stephanie.
Dang. Let's see what else. Hmm.
Yeah.
I don't think I got any. Hey, how about a guy? A sexy guy
A
name.
guy's name? Mm-hmm.
I have no idea what would that be. Would that be like an Adrian? That sounds like an F boy, right? Like a fuck boy. I feel like
I don't
Adrian.
know
I
like
think.
necessarily what constitutes a fuckboy's name.
Oh no,
Like what
okay.
does that even
No,
mean?
okay.
You
I
know?
think like okay, like a sexy name for a guy is something that we would assume would like be like cool or like a player. You know what I mean? That girls would probably
Oh,
like.
you're like Bruce's of the world,
Yes. I think Bruce is
and like
actually
the Brunos.
Bruno.
Like
I think
when I hear Bruno, I just think of like some like muscular hunk.
I just think of Bruno
Some
Mars.
like I didn't think of that. When I hear Bruno, it's like I just think of like some tall, dark and handsome, stereotypical like muscular dude that all the girls are like swarming over, and like they can't keep their clothes on or whatever. But
Yeah.
that's where my mind goes. I don't know, but on the lines of like a sexy guy name, I don't
I think
know.
for me it's like Brian or like Adrian or like Bruce, how you said. Like Bruce is like more like a classy like
Did you just say Brian?
yeah, no. No. You're thinking of Brian? No. I actually wasn't even thinking of him.
Oh man! Hey, you know what? That's even better because you were
That's
being
so
honest with
funny.
yourself in the moment.
No, but I wasn't even thinking of
But
that, bro. I wasn't even
Brian?
thinking of Brian from the Smash community.
Oh, I wasn't even thinking of that.
What?
I was just thinking the name. It's wow. That's really interesting that your mind went there.
No, because you were talking about Brian like earlier, so I was thinking it was that.
Oh
Wait,
yeah.
what? Wait, so why was it funny then?
Because I think Brian's just a really really like common simple name.
I
You know what I
guess.
mean? It's like there's probably like a Brian like there's at least one Brian on every like block in everyone's neighborhood.
At least in every block. Wow.
Yeah, like
No, but like when I'm talking about Bruce, it sounds like a classy, like I don't know, just like a cool name, right?
sounds like a classy but very very like masculine strong
Exactly.
name.
Exactly.
More of
It
like
sounds
a traditional gender role name like
yeah.
Bruce. This guy can take care of the family. He's working,
He's
with his
serious.
hands. He's
It's
experienced
cool.
guy. He's looking out for his family, just protecting them.
I think it's cool.
But for me, it's like, yeah, I don't know. I just I think of it in that like I guess like almost stereotypical way.
Yeah.
But to me, it's not like sexy. It's just like it's
Okay.
more of just like a man's man
Like a
type of
man's
deal.
man.
But to me, like that's not as sexy. I don't know.
Okay. I think for me, like
Yeah.
Adrian is one. I think it's cool. Like they sound like a player. Like Adrian to me sounds like a player. Like it sounds
I can
like they
see
just get
that.
all
Yeah.
the girls. He has like STDs.
He's definitely got to go on his like weekly checkup, make
Exactly.
sure he's all good.
Exactly. Yeah, he has to go to his weekly checkup. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man. But dude, that's actually to be honest with you, my mind is still stuck on like what you were talking about, like how like there's like a tonal thing going on, like affiliation going on in my head with like the Hmong language and like how I found those girl names sexy.
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking you were naming off some like I almost want to say like common American
Yeah.
names.
Basic names like the girls.
Um, yeah, like what you said, like Emily and Stephanie. But like I'm
Yeah.
curious. It's like
It's the girls that
that's
I've seen in my
interesting.
life.
Okay, yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. That's just your experience. But it was just interesting to me because it's like I know you speak Spanish, and so
Yeah.
I was wondering if like what are some sexy Spanish names that come to your mind?
Hmm. Sexy Spanish names. I actually don't even know. Like, okay, let me get back to you. Let me hear you. Like, what do you think are sexy Spanish names since you brought it up?
Sexy Spanish names.
Oh, what? Now you're thinking? Hey, come on, man. You
Well,
asked me.
interestingly enough, like I think a sexy Spanish name for like a um a guy
Okay.
is like no, like my mind doesn't go to the soccer player, but I've always thought like Cristiano is
Cristiano.
like a sexy like guy's name
Cristiano.
because like it just when I hear that and it just the way it rolls off the tongue,
Yeah.
it sounds like the super like suave guy that like isn't even
Yeah.
trying to be hot, he just is hot.
That actually,
You know what
you
I
do have a point.
mean?
You do have a point. Yeah, it does sound like that.
Yeah, it's just like he's not even an asshole.
He
He's
just
not a
gets
douchebag.
girls.
He's not trying to get girls. He's not trying to play anyone. He's just like walking down the road, minding his own business. But because this guy's like aura and
Yeah.
his, you know, everything he exudes about him is just so like sensual and like cool. You can't help but acknowledge that about him. Like that's the way I feel about that name. Again, there's no affiliation to the soccer player. Um,
No affiliation to soccer player.
yeah, I would say for a female Spanish name, um,
Dude, I have
let me
no
say,
idea.
Juliana.
Juliana? Nah. Juliana?
Juliana.
Nah. Not for
Oof,
me.
oof, oof.
Not for me.
It's especially the way it starts with like the
Yeah.
J's pronounced as an H too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Not
it's
for
just
me.
again, it's the way it rolls off the tongue. It's like Juliana.
Dude, you don't.
You know, it's
You,
like, ooh,
you don't.
she's bad.
No, she's not.
She's so
Not for me.
bad. It's like, oh, and it's like she's not even trying to be bad. She just
That's
is.
not me. No,
Ooh.
that's not for me. No, for me, I think
Hey,
it's like.
what is for you?
I think for me, it's actually Yesenia. I think
A
Yesenia.
what?
Yesenia?
Yesenia.
Yeah, I actually like that. Yeah,
Oh, that sounds
I
great.
actually
That
like
sounds
that.
hot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like Yesenia. I think
I
cause
don't know what it is, but I think I've realized that there's like a common theme in like what I find sexy for girls' names. It's like when they usually end with like some sort of like ah.
I see like ah,
Yeah.
like
It's like ah
like
oh ooh ah. But you were saying though, like what's another name you think?
Let's see, Yesenia's. Let's see. Hmm.
That's a hot name.
Yesenia. Okay, I like Yesenia a lot. What is another name? I have like no other name. Hmm. You know what? Okay, sometimes I like so I see like girls name like some girls are named like Jocelyn, right? I feel like that's like a really common like Hispanic name now, like Jocelyn. It's not really like I don't know. I don't think that's sexy.
Wait, is it Jocelyn?
Yeah, like Jocelyn. I don't like that. I actually don't like it.
I feel like that's also a common American name too.
Really? Hmm. I think I'm like
Well, not like as common as like Brittany or Courtney,
oh
but
actually
it's like still.
Britneys are like I don't know. These sound like hoes. Britneys. Yeah, right? I think it's hoes.
That's all the Britneys out there.
It's Britney, man.
You heard this message?
Hey, I'm sorry, Britney's out there in the world. I'm just telling you the truth. This is what I think.
Y'all are bitches.
Dang.
Yeah, oh man, that's so funny though.
That is really funny. Yeah, but like aside from Yesenia, I have
Oh.
nothing else. What is like? Yeah, like Juliana? Nah, dude. Juliana is not sexy at all. Not for me.
It's the way you're saying it. You can't just be like Juliana. You know what I mean?
No,
You're like
but I'm also
you're
thinking
playing it
about
so wrongly. See, to me, it's like it's more the way it comes off, like off the way it rolls off the tongue, and the way like your ear, the way the actual sound like enters your ear. It's like Juliana. It's like that's and just something about me makes me want to dance. You know, it's just like
what?
all right,
You wanna
let's
dance?
go.
No, I think okay. I think for me it's like Liz. I actually like Liz. I like the way it's like it rolls off my tongue. Liz.
Hey, you know what, low key, I've actually always liked the name Liz.
I like Liz.
You know,
Like, cause
I've
I
always
had a
liked the name like Liza too.
Liza. Now for me
You
it's
know,
Liz. I think it's just like simple. Like it's like I don't know. I see like cute, but like kinky.
ooh, interesting. How do you feel about Lizzie?
Lizzie? Nah,
Yeah.
it sounds immature. It sounds like a girl that's immature. Lizzie.
Hmm.
I think think the
Ah, so
Lizzie.
the Y ending gives it like
Yeah, it gives it like a
more of
little
like
yeah,
a
yeah,
childish like association
yeah. It
to
gives me
it.
that. Yeah, yeah. I don't know
That's
why.
real. That's fair.
It's weird. I'm just like, cause I'm trying to picture the girl, right? And like, I think for
Yeah.
Liz, I think the reason I like Liz is because I had a crush on this girl named Liz, and like, I still think I
So
still think she's cute.
yeah.
I still think she's cute.
Hey, I think a lot of it's been coming down to your like experiences, your personal experiences.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's probably that then. Yeah.
Well, hey, so I mean, speaking of like the topic of women, it's like, what kind of woman are you looking for right now? If you could identify your not like ideal girl for life, but for like right now where you're at, what kind of like what's the ideal girl that you'd be looking
I'm looking
for?
for slim, thick.
Slim and wait versus thick? Are you
No,
saying
slim, thick.
slim thick?
Yes.
I like how I asked what's ideal girl, and you thought you went to like physical and like features.
Yeah, dude. Hey, that's the number one. No, I'm just
Hey,
kidding.
that's real, man. You are a real ass homie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. Seriously.
How about personality wise? Like what she's like. So obviously she's slim. Like what's the personality? You
Okay,
know,
okay, okay. What I like is okay, like this girl that's innocent, right? She's like okay, like not totally, totally innocent. You know what I mean?
innocent.
Not totally innocent. They can have like some like bitchy vibes, and I actually like when a girl has bitchy vibes, right? Like I just like it when like I don't
Like an
know.
RBF, like a stuck up
No, 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 no,
nature.
no.
What do you
I'm talking
mean?
about like she gets mad. Like I don't know. I just like it when they get mad. I like it when they get mad. I don't know why. I don't know why. I just like it. But aside from that, right? Aside from that, right? Like okay, like they're like innocent, a little bitchy, but like also like they're like a sex freak, dude. They're a sex freak. Yes,
Oh,
yes. Like okay, so
the
like
sexual chemistry has to be there.
exactly. Like what I want is like a girl to want me. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
if a girl's
Mm-hmm.
looking out for like another guy, like no, 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 no. I would not like that. I like the girl. I want the girl to be like to want me. Like she finds me hot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I want.
Yeah.
How about
I
you?
actually kind of share that same sentiment towards like the whole um like I think for me, I've always had a tendency to be into women that are like trying to please me. And like the
Yeah.
more they're trying to please me, I want to please them back.
Really?
And not even just because they want to please me, it's more of just like it's more of like we're adding onto each other's like
I see.
you know what I mean? Like it's like we're stacking onto each other's like same chemistry, same feel.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's like
yeah.
it's super hot when a girl wants to like like make me like feel good or whatever.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's even hotter when it's like I put in that effort, but a little bit more. She's like, Eric, that's how you want to do it. I'm bringing it up more, and it's like, oh, okay,
Dang.
I'm bringing up
Okay.
more, and then like we just like constantly build and like
I
grow
see.
off each other.
No, I think for
That
me,
that to me is like so hot.
I see, I see. I think for me, it's more so like I just don't like when a girl like I guess showers me with like gifts or whatever, or like showers
Mm,
me with love, because I feel like that's not like I'm not used to it. I feel like I'm not used to it. Okay, like
well,
because we had this conversation I think like a while back, or maybe 2 weeks ago, where I said like growing up I felt like I didn't like receive a lot of like physical touch, I guess. As in like
yeah.
hugs or things like that. So that's like something that I'm not like used to. Like it just feels like why are you hugging me? You know what I mean? Why are you doing this to me? Why? Why?
Does it almost feel like fabricated to
It's
you?
somewhat because it doesn't. Maybe it's like
Wow.
I don't know. It's weird, right? It's a weird situation. I just it's weird. So like if a girl hugs me, it's just like a hug. Like okay, it's a hug. But like it doesn't feel like it's like like something. Like I have to feel like I don't know. I have to feel like a connection in a way. I don't even know how to explain it. I mean,
When you say connection, is it like
like it's
is it
real.
like
It's
an
real.
emotional connection, a
Like
mental connection?
maybe both. Maybe both.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I'm probably just confused because I've never been in a relationship. but it's
Well,
probably
truthfully to be told, I'm on the same boat. I've never been in like a super like serious
yeah,
committed
serious.
relationship.
Yeah, it's all about the not serious relationship, boys. No, I'm just kidding.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie though. It's like I think for me, it's interesting because from the time I was like born and raised all the way until like maybe I was like just like maybe 2 or 3 years ago,
Yeah,
I was maybe even just like 2 or 1 years ago actually. But like I was always wanting to find like the future, like my future wife,
that is
and
true.
just
That was
I
me.
was all about that. But it's like now I'm more of just like there's so much more that I need to work on self
Exactly.
that that like I have to like I think I have to be selfish in
Yeah,
this time frame where I'm at right now so that I can be able to get there.
yeah.
But like right now, it's like when I truly think about what I want and what I enjoy from life, I'm not wanting to like be in a super serious committed relationship.
Same.
I want to just hang out with people and
Yep.
have a good time and enjoy their company.
Same.
I'd rather live in the moment of
Yeah.
enjoying their company.
Yeah. That's something I agree with too. Yeah, 'cause I used to also
Yeah.
want to look for like a relationship or like the girl who's gonna be like my wife. But like now
Yeah.
like I guess learning more about like people's experiences and like things like that. I've gotten a more like I don't think it's like worth it right now. I think it's like it's more so just like we should just hang out, chill, and then when the time comes, it comes, right? Like
Yeah.
don't be in a rush right now, especially because like we're all young. Like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah. Yeah. Of
like
course.
you gotta think about the future. Like like there's kids and like you gotta have a house, like you gotta buy food, all these things, right? And like I don't wanna think about that right now. I'd rather just like think about hang out with my homies, like you and like others, and just have a good time. Like live life, you know?
Yeah. I think it's interesting because I think also just because we do have a lack of experience of
Yeah.
being in such a strong and like committed relationship is like I think that lack of experiencing that has I mean potentially influenced us to feel the desire to what I mean not want that until like later,
Maybe, yeah.
which is I don't know if it's a good or bad thing, but it's just
Yeah.
I know it's the route that I've been on, and I know it's something that could have influenced me earlier on,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but because it didn't happen, I feel like my life route has changed its course,
Same.
and I'm in control, and it's like
Yeah.
I'm like changing it manually,
Yeah.
and it's like I don't know if it's like the other life would have had if I had that would have been better or not, but all I know is it's like I've come to a point now where it's like I'm happy with where I'm at.
Dude, actually
It's
same.
like I'm not I'm not like fully like satisfied either,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
want but like it's good to be able to identify where I'm at with things and to not just necessarily be at peace with it, but to learn and live with it and grow from it. Because I think for me, it's like having to establish this this base, this like the roots and the stability. I've had to establish this, and it's taken me so many years to realize this. But in order for me to actually reach happiness and like reach more, I've had to establish the base first.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
You know what's funny? Okay, so what I think what's happened to me lately is like if I don't focus on women or just or like a relationship or nothing like that, I like I like gain women. You know what I mean? It's like the weirdest thing ever. It's weird. It's the weirdest thing ever, dude. Like I've never had like I don't know, like I guess this much attention from women's like ever before. It's weird. I don't know how to explain it. Maybe because
Women
like
want you when you don't want them.
it's weird. I don't get it. I don't get it, dude. I don't get it. I don't get it. I can't stress it enough. But yeah,
I
cause
feel
okay,
it.
cause hey, I mean it's also true with guys, right? Cause like with guys, like we want a girl that we can't necessarily reach, right? Right? Isn't that the same thing with girls also? Like they want something that's like that's like unattainable. Like we want a girl that's like
Yeah.
unattainable. It's like hot. You know what I mean? She's hot. Like give us everything like we want. Like that's hard, right? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely onto something there. I think it's a common thing to want to strive for more,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. That is true.
Phew,
Hey,
excuse me.
bless you.
Thank you.
Hey.
But I'll probably need to be heading out soon.
All right. Hey.
So,
Hey.
I didn't want to cut it short,
No, it's
but
all good. Hey. Just this last question, okay? This last question.
yeah.
If animals could talk, which animal would be the rudest? Which one would be the rudest?
Which animal would be the rudest?
Yes, if they could talk. I want to say like a tiger. Hey, give my money. Or something like that.
Wow,
I
a
don't know, dude.
tiger.
A tiger. I
You
could
know
think
what's
a tiger.
interesting is that like a lot of Hmong, not necessarily a lot, but like some Hmong culture has like fantasized about like tigers being able to like shapeshift into people and
Really?
be able to
Tigers.
talk.
Tigers.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. That's
Just
crazy.
because I guess they're a common animal in the jungles
Yeah, makes sense.
back where the Hmong folk are. But so an animal that would sound angry when it talks. You know, to me, the most like angry human language like from what I've heard has always been like German and like
German?
Russian.
Oh yeah, Guten Morgen. Like that.
But animals, it's like, man, that's interesting. I don't know about animals. Man, I feel like bears would
Bears?
have to be something because they would just be like, "Rawr."
But that's not even like.
That's not even a good bear noise. It's just like they were just like I don't even know what they would do.
Wait, wait,
I'm basing all my knowledge from like Jungle Book.
wait. So what would they say though? If it was a bear, what would they say?
I don't even know. I mean, what would you say is yours?
Like the
Like
tiger?
besides tiger,
Hey, fuck off or something like that. I don't know. It sounds so like that.
but
Hey.
they wouldn't be speaking English. They would be speaking their own language.
No, but the question was if they would talk, if any animal could talk, which one would be the rudest?
You mean talk like speak English?
Yeah, just speak.
Oh, that's a completely different story.
Cause I think it's a tiger. Hey, I think you're cutting off. I don't know what was that. Hey, Eric, let me do this again. My bad for the technical difficulties. This is the first time this happened. Hey, Eric. Eric. Hey, my bad for this, guys. This has never happened. Oh, okay. Hey, what's up, Ergo?
Yeah, lose you there?
Yeah, you lost me there. Whoa. Can you turn on the camera?
Yeah. Let's see.
Oh, there he goes. Wait, so what were you saying about the rudest animal? You were saying
Probably bears. Probably
bears?
still bears. They would be roaring.
No, but well, but what would like the bear say though? What would the bear say? I just want to hear what would the bear say.
Does it matter?
Does it matter?
Because the thing is, assuming every animal would say the same line, right? Which one would sound the meanest or the most angriest? That's the question.
I guess that's
Would
true.
it matter what they said?
No, but like in terms of rudeness, how would they be rude? How would the bears be rude?
I don't know. I think it's more so along the lines of how would they sound. You know, to me, it's like they would just like be really, really
Yeah, like
angsty and angry, you know, and it would be like, rah, 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 you know,
what?
something like I don't even know how to like do it.
Yeah. Wait, so like, I mean, I can kind of see bears like doing something. I can see them like throwing coconuts at people. I don't know why. I can see them throwing coconuts. Just like reaching
I
a
don't
coconut from
know.
the ceiling, just like throw it. I don't know why.
I have no clue, but yeah, no, I do gotta be heading out though to somewhere else. But
All right.
dude, I think it was a great first podcast
Oh
though.
yeah. I totally agree, man. So
Loads more.
catch us next time on the Homies podcast. This is Lil
Oh yeah.
Homie and Ergo. You can find me at twitter.com slash Erzik ERSAAC. And yeah, this is the Homies podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I actually like this podcast.
See you guys.
All right, see you guys. That was fun.